welcome to the very first episode of Chanel versus the Kraken. I'm Chanel. I'm a mom, a leader, a storyteller, and now a sarcoma survivor. This podcast is about facing the monsters that life throws at us. Mine just happens to be leiomyosarcoma. This is a podcast where we can talk about all of the monsters that life does throw at us and talk about how to stay positive through it all. Life has not been easy for me. I was divorced and then widowed at 41 with small kids. I was a tornado survivor. Oh my gosh. So many shitty things have happened to me. But yet here I am, standing here saying, fuck the free world still. Oh. But before we dive into all of the medical details and more about that, I want you to know a little bit more about who I am outside of all of this. I am a single mom with 4 incredible kids who make me laugh every day and definitely keep me busy and on my toes. My 2 older boys are at college. They're college students. And my 2 youngest at home, I have a 14-year-old only daughter, and a 12-year-old boy. And they are very active in all various activities in theater and show choirs and sports activities. You name it. You can often find me living in my car, practically driving them to and from practices. And then I work from home. I work in leadership and training. I help people grow and find confidence in their work. And I lead a very phenomenal training team. And I absolutely love what I do and where I work. I love theater. So I've always been into community theater and done various theaters, worked with various theater programs throughout my community here. I connect with people. I love connecting with people through emotion, especially. And I guess that is kind of what this whole thing really is. It's connecting with people. It's another stage, right, where I can tell stories, connect with people through emotion, except for this is a lot more personal than what it normally would be. Before the diagnosis, I was busy finishing up my MBA in business psychology, which I just recently got, by the way. I was also planning my future, in leadership development and speaking engagements and just planning this wonderful future and hoping and praying, to get through it. That's what I was doing. I was juggling everything, work, kids, school, all as a single mom. Before the diagnosis, right? I always have to BC, right? Before COVID? No, now it's before Kraken with a K, so we'll call it BK. So BK, that's what I was doing, trying to juggle everything. But then one day my body told me to stop. My body told me it was time to stop and check this thing out. I had this horrible side pain on and off for quite some time. And I had seen a doctor several times about it, but they could never figure out what it was. It was always, oh, you're dehydrated. Oh, drink more water. Oh, it's this or that. And recently having lost a whole bunch of weight, deliberately, mind you, even though that is a sign of cancer, is unexplained weight loss. Well, mine was explained because I was trying. But anyway, one day I'd had enough. This horrible right side pain was overwhelming me, and the kids were at school, and it was the afternoon. I didn't have any meetings really, so I was like, you know what, it's time. It's time to go in. Maybe I have some appendicitis or some kind of pancreas, issue going on. Like, I knew it was time. So I went in to the Women's Hospital, which is the closest hospital to me. And I presented to them as possible appendicitis, right? So that's what they were thinking I possibly had. They ran blood work and did a scan on me, thinking that I was going to be an appendicitis patient. Boy, was I wrong. Were they wrong, right? So like I said, they did the blood work and then the scan. The doctor came back in, and this is the way that he told me. He says, surprisingly, your blood work looks great. Surprisingly. Should have caught on that something really was going on when I heard that word, surprisingly. But your scan did not look so great. He then says, you have a very large mass on the backside of your pancreas, and we believe it's cancer. That's how he told me. So, of course, I immediately break down and freak out because I heard him say pancreatic cancer, large cancer, all of those things. And I broke down, and I was alone. I mean, of course I was alone. What am I going to drag somebody to the ER with me to get checked out? No. So I freaked out. I immediately called my ex-husband, my son, my oldest son, told him what they, told me, and that they were planning to hospitalize me because they wanted to do an immediate biopsy because that was the quickest way to figure out exactly what we were dealing with. So I walked around for 2 days thinking that I was dying from pancreatic cancer, and nothing prepares you for that. Nothing. I started telling my son about life insurance and how to bury me and all this, and how he was going to be responsible for taking care of his younger siblings. All of that just came pouring out of me because, again, you think you're dying. This is it, right? My mom just passed a couple years ago from lung cancer, and she went so fast. So that's all the only context that I really had. So in the hospital, they did the biopsy and they took pictures of it, and then that was done on a Thursday, and I actually had to wait until the following week for the results. And you want to talk about a horrible weekend. I tried to do various things to just keep me distracted and live my normal life, but it was hard, right? It also happened to be that Monday was the anniversary of my late husband's death. So I didn't want to hear anything on that Monday. In fact, I wasn't even planning on answering the phone if they called, but they didn't call. They didn't call. So I called, left a message. Tuesday comes, nothing. I hear nothing. I call again, leave another message. Hey, I haven't heard my results yet. All day, went all day practically. And in the afternoon, I'd had enough. I went on to the patient portal, which, mind you, you should never do. Never do that if you're waiting on test results. I promise you, even if it's good, don't do it. Because I pulled up my pathology report, and in there it said leiomyosarcoma. I had no idea what that was. So, of course, what did I do? I did what everyone else would do. I put that right into ChatGPT and told him to tell me all about what this is. That's exactly what I did. Mind you, don't do that. So I learned right then and there that this was a very rare, aggressive type of cancer that forms in muscle tissue and soft tissues. And it's often hidden so deep that they can't catch it early. I learned that I have leiomyosarcoma cancer sitting in my desk, my work desk, because I work from home by myself. Don't recommend that. Wait for your doctor to call you. I promise you the anxiety that you're feeling in the unknowing is way less than the anxiety that you're going to feel sitting alone, finding out that you have a rare type of soft tissue cancer, and then Googling it and ChatGPTing it, only to find out all the worst case scenarios. Oh my gosh, you're dying. This is so rare and aggressive. But honestly, it couldn't be further from the truth. So don't do that. By the time I made it into my doctor, I was convinced I was dying yet again. But again, this whole time I'm sitting here, how can this be? How can I have cancer? I'm not sick. I feel great. I was running the day before my diagnosis. Running. So yeah. Showed me pictures of it from the pictures that they took. And, and the thing looked kind of like an octopus to me. It had all these spread out. And that's when I learned it was stage 3 because it has spread to the surrounding tissues. It's right behind all of my major organs. I don't have pancreatic cancer. Thank God. Not that, this cancer is any better, but at the same time, it's cancer, right? All cancers are bad, no matter the cancer type. But this particular cancer is in my gut wall behind all my major organs, and it's spread to the surrounding tissue. It hasn't spread to any major organs, thank God. And praise God, seriously. Praise be to him, all glory to him because of that. But it is stage 3. But there is a treatment, right? There's a plan. We have a plan. When my doctor told me, she said, this is your cure plan. And she used the word cure, not me. They started using the word cure. This is how we cure it. This is what you do. Cure, cure, cure. So that gave me hope. And sometimes it's the little things, right? It's that little bit of hope that's all you need to just cling on to that until you can find the next little bit of hope. And then the next one, and then the next one. And before you know it, you're climbing up that rope because you have bits of hope. So my hope, my treatment plan, my cure plan to slay this Kraken that I've now nicknamed it, right? It's called the Kraken because not only does it look like a Kraken, but it's hidden deep. It's like a shadowy creature living beneath the surface. Evil and just unknown. That's why I nicknamed it the Kraken. There is a cure plan for the Kraken. And I'm going to slay it. This Kraken is going to get slayed. So let's talk about what my treatment, what my cure plan is. So we're going to first start with chemo. And that's the stage that I'm at now. I'm actually just finishing up, or I just finished up 2 and a couple weeks ago, and I'll be moving on to 3. And then we're going to pause in the middle and have a scan. So hopefully it's working, right? We can see it then. At least get a sneak peek. Hey, is this working at all? But we're going to do 6 total rounds of a combined chemotherapy. So 2 different chemos. That's particularly tailored for this specific type of cancer that I have. And then after that, we are going to do radiation. So 5 weeks of daily radiation treatments. The radiation is quick, right? It's like a 15-minute thing. You go in super early in the morning, they give you radiation, you leave. Easy peasy, right? Well, in theory. And then hopefully both of those things combined will have shrunk the Kraken down enough that the doctor, the very talented surgeon, can go in there and remove it with clear margins, meaning get all of it out and then plus some, just in case, microscopic DNA from the cancer is where we can't see it. So that's the goal, right? And then after that, I will have 8 additional follow-up chemo sessions with just one chemo. To hopefully keep it from recurring, because this particular type of cancer has a high recurrence rate. It's long, it's exhausting, right? It is. It is. It's so hard. I'm very fortunate that I have 3 weeks in between my chemo sessions, so I have 3 weeks to recover. And that first week, it's usually day 4 and 5 that are the worst for me at this point. I kind of feel a little fluish. They pump me so full of steroids, I literally feel like I could conquer the world on some of those days, but then other days I'm just kind of knocked down a little bit, right? I feel a little fluish, kind of icky-ish. I just want to sit there. But every single day, I think this is what I'm doing to slay the Kraken. This is exactly what I need to do. And I decided to share this story because, when I was first diagnosed, I felt alone. And not just because this is a rare type of cancer, because believe you me, I searched for those survivor stories out there. I wanted to talk to other leiomyosarcoma survivors. There's not many of us out there. Not because it's not survivable, but because it's so rare. There's a different ribbon color for every type of cancer out there. Mine is purple. But this particular type of cancer is so rare. It's so hard to find somebody to talk to. But I don't want to do this podcast just for that. I want to talk about courage, community, finding light in dark, dark places. When I was at my lowest time, when I was sitting there thinking I was dying of pancreatic cancer, that place, that's what I want to talk about. And I also want to talk about perceptions that people might have of people with cancer, people living with cancer, and what people think they look like. Because remember what I said. There's no way I have cancer. I'm not sick. I don't even have a cough. How can I have cancer? And a lot of people think that, right? A lot of people don't understand that there's so many people out there that can be walking around with cancer and you don't know it. So those are the things that I'm going to talk about in my podcast. I'll talk about the down and dirty, the hair loss, which, by the way, they told me I wouldn't lose my hair and I lost my hair. We're going to talk about all of those things. I'll be sharing updates from my treatment, the real stuff, all the ups and the downs. I'll bring on guests and we'll talk about hope, healing, and humor. Oh, that I can promise you. There will be humor. There will always be humor. We'll get real about body image, fatigue, and fear, and hopefully finding yourself again in all of this. And that's what I'm hoping to do. And again, I promise you there will be laughter. We will be laughing because If you can't laugh through a storm, the Kraken wins every single time, I promise you. So I will be laughing through all of this. And I want to thank you for joining me on episode 1, the introductory season of Chanel versus the Kraken. If you want to follow my journey or support me in any way, there will be links for my GoFundMe in my description. Please share. Please like and share, especially if you know somebody with sarcoma, or if you just don't. Most of all, if you're fighting something that feels impossible, just remember this. Every monster has a weak spot. Every survivor has a story. And I'm Chanel, and this is my story. Until next time, keep fighting, keep believing, and keep slaying!